Saints Nation, welcome back to Cafe as we're about to get started with game number 2. St. Clair had themselves definitely a handful versus Universite de Montreal in that last one, going down 7-5 on Clubhouse. But looking to turn it around here on Cafe, a map that they have been notoriously comfortable with compared to some of the other maps in this series. In regards to bans, we do see Thatcher off the table once again, and this time a Blackbeard actually getting picked off. Don't see that too often. I'm curious if something kind of switched up there to warrant the Blackbeard ban. Because personally, I always saw Blackbeard as more of a pub stopper or a very situational pick. Or is basically just attaching a gigantic shield to his gun, while useful, is not always meant for every scenario. But they're going to take it off the board, and then St. Clair's defensive ban is going to be the Mira. Not want to deal with that operator here tonight. With the bans being as odd as they were, however, a lot of operators were kind of let in by taking Mira out. This means that Malusi is on the table, notoriously annoying for attackers to deal with, between her Banshee gadgets slowing down attackers who try to go through it, and the fact that she herself is just so damn quick, able to rotate constantly, get the jump on the players. It'd be really difficult, actually, to deal with. I'm looking forward to seeing how St. Clair looks to pull this off, as it's going to be Big Papa piloting this operator. We see the Banshee gadget right there, and it's that little circle is area of effect. As soon as you try to enter this room, you're going to be in for a world of hurt, unless I believe you throw a grenade or get a sledge or something to take it down, because it is also bulletproof. Other thing to note here, for the first time today, we are going to see Gridlock getting picked up, this time here by Smajo, one of those additional operators available to stop any sort of roaming, which I guess Malusi could very well pull off by pulling down the gadget spike strips. Makes it absolutely brutal, slows you down big time, makes some noise, you get caught up with damage. It makes trying to go through some of the sneaky flanks that much harder to deal with. So I like the little pick here from Smajo here on the side of Universite de Montreal. Of course, this is pretty well standard, especially the fact that St. Clair are holding here on the 3rd floor to start things off. We're going to go to the rooftops and try to work our way down. We do see Max Payne, who's going to probably be eventually looking to breach through this wall. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Move forward does have the assistance from Silence as well to be able to use those additional cameras. Silence makes his way in and instantly reaches for downstairs and leads the charge for Montreal. Banana's still up the rooftop alongside Platts and Smajo. The Silence and Max Payne. Max Payne, who's coming off of a hot game himself, being in the double digits. Big Papa actually getting kind of messed up a little bit here. Was spotted roaming. And right now they're trying their damnedest to hunt them down. Not going to be successful in doing so. Minute 20 still on the clock in this round. Bananas has made his way into the building as well. Silence making these cameras work. The fact that you can just launch these things pretty well anywhere and get yourself a solid sightline like this really make Zero a really sick operator. And unfortunately there for Big Papa, the roaming and the pathing just led it eventually right into the sight lines of Silence and takes them down real quick. 4-on-4, however, as Kira going to answer right back with an elimination for himself. How about a double? Takes down Platts as well. The Zofia taken off the field here in this round. Domo still has all smokes available, ready and ready. Miracle looking for any sort of flankers. He actually could possibly see the Gridlock throwing one of those spikes, or he was trying to go through some of the barbed wire on the floor. Could have spotted it out, helped the team rotate. Kira looking to possibly find himself a third elimination here in this round.
10 seconds to go.
Shots fired by JMB. It's going to be a back and forth battle. Miracle getting into it as well. Right on sight. There's two players ready and waiting. Domo, Cookie Bear, ready with the smokes, going to make it work. And unfortunately, I had the wrong point of view apparently in that battle. St. Clair going to take care of it, however, after a timeout. Nobody was able to get that diffuser down. Okay, very similarly to the last game. St. Clair taking round number 1, but can they hold it from here is the question. I'm sure they would love to go on an absolute tear to start things off. Cade being left on the table compared to last game as well. JMB is going to pilot that operator, make some of those electro claws work in his favor.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All the way down to the first floor this time. Oftentimes, what you'll end up seeing here in this site, it would be this entrance right here. Oftentimes, you'll see the attackers come in from this side, slowly try to creep their way over. Oftentimes, what we'll see from Saints, there is a little bit of a counter here that you can hide behind, and then all the bombs themselves in this room. Just a matter of trying to breach through here. You won't oftentimes see teams try to go roof down, but sometimes it'll still happen if somebody is worried about roamers. So we'll have to see how confident Universite de Montreal is in their play to take down and deal with roamers. They do have the gridlock once again, which could very well funnel any roamers back to a place that they're already guarding anyway. And of course, you have silence on the Zero as well. Has been rather effective so far here today. Next painting on the Ace as well. Bananas doing a solid job on the Ash earlier and continues to do just that moving forward. We now see Bananas looking to make their way in. Sure enough, from the first floor, just going to go straight through, it looks like, but they're going to go from the other side and try to make their way through. Interesting, and fun facts there. A nice little play there from Silence. Another thing that I totally forgot to mention is those cameras can shoot and destroy gadgets. That is quite the gadget you got there, Zero. And Silence, you're doing a fantastic job of making that work for you. Platts, however, getting peppered a little bit from one of the St. Clair members. Wasn't able to get to see who quite got a piece of him there. Some gigantic holes moving forward here, though. Lots of sight lines for UDM to make something work here. Minute 30 left on the clock. We do see Big Papa actually trying to make a play here. Right by the site. Domo moving forward alongside Kira as well. And Miracle actually going to get the jump from above on to Smasho. So we do have the gridlock off the table as the chaos starts to ensue right at this 1 minute mark. Kira on site, and we're just going to see everybody get dropped here, it looks like. Kira and Domo left alive. Bananas does go down, but it's a 2-on-2 now. Domo going to secure it with the gas, but that being said, It's all up to Domo, as now Kira has been dropped, and Max Payne going to turn us around, and we may have ourselves a bit of a deja vu from last round, or last game rather, as we see a solid play there from Max Payne, a good call out from his teammate to point out, just shoot through the wall, you might be able to get him from there, and a solid play there. I know personally I might be feeling a little bit of a deja vu after that one, but hopefully for the mindset of St. Clair, that is not going through their minds as we go into round number 3. Looking to try and make this first floor work for them again. But it was quite the nice change of pace from UDM. Rather than going straight in towards the normal location, it looked like they kind of came through the back door a little bit. And eventually were able to overwhelm them on the sites at the end of the day, but completely ignoring this whole section that I was saying was probably going to be the contested area. Like I said before, I like to be wrong.
10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds left before insertion. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
You can stop worrying about grenades now. Unrolling razor wire.
Same lineup here for Universite de Montreal as we move forward for round number 3.
Deploying ADS.
Matcher still on the gridlock, still have Max Payne ready to make something happen there on the ace. Picking himself 3 eliminations so far here in this game. Almost the highest. Highest on his team, but Kira sitting there with 4 in the game. And make that 5 as he takes down Platts real quick into this one. Putting St. Clair in fantastic position. Still extremely early though. Anything can happen. Just a little bit of a pump of the brakes, if you will, for Universite de Montreal. And Bananas, sure enough, going to come in clutch here. Does take down Kira with the refrag. Max Payne, Silence all going into contest here right on this first floor itself. Silence taking some decent damage. Once again, going to be looking to try and make the play on that the Cade Claw from the drone hole once again. Makes the shot. Does St. Clair know what they're doing? They do destroy it before the Claw gets destroyed. So good timing for the defender on the other side for St. Clair. Max Payne looking to start blowing a hole through this door. Bananas going to be the one to start things off. And going to try to use this as the opportunity to take down as much of this wall as possible. Bananas on the other side looking for flankers as well. You can see, slowly but surely, those ace gadgets just tear a hole right through the floor. It's going to force some smoke grenades coming out from Domo, and it's going to get chaotic. It's going to get chaotic quick, as we are now down to the last minute once again here. Let's see how much we can catch. JM Beast does end up going down. Max Payne finding the kill there. Domo gets found from below. One member left from St. Clair, and it is all down to Big Papa to somehow clean up the 4 players of Universite de Montreal. And time is not in their favor either. Diffuser goes down, not able to win that gunfight against Bananas. And here we go again. Montreal looking to set this up to possibly run away with it. Saving grace here in this situation for St. Clair, of course, is the fact that they can now go back to the area that they won on. Enough time was spent elsewhere that they can now go back and look to see how they can hang on to this. Of course, before we do get started with round number 4, however, I do, of course, want to give a big thank you to the sponsors that, of course, make Saints, the St. Clair Saints, Saints Gaming in general, possible, of course, making these broadcasts a thing. Of course, big thank you, St. Clair College, St. Clair College Alumni Association, EC Outlet, Duckelman School of Business and IT, St. Clair Student Representative Council, and Tim Hortons.
Swapping Megs.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds left.
Looking at the St. Clair side of things, like taking a look at some of the performances from players as of right now, I do feel kind of bad saying it, but it looks like the swap here to Miracle having a bit of a slow start of sorts, but not everything comes out the gates swinging right away. Miracle had a couple good rounds during the game number 1, don't get me wrong, and does have an elimination so far in this series, but a bit of a slow start, but at the same time, could have a slow start and still be legendary. Ask Regigigas.
Selma sequence activated. Track sting is active.
Game round 4, attackers, of course, already on their way. Going to be starting to tear through the rooftops here once again. They know St. Clair wants to go back up to this 3rd floor, and they're going to adjust their attack accordingly. But by adjustments, there's not going to be much of it. If anything, it's just going to be Platts here on the sledge. A nice little peek, actually, onto Kira. Can he finish him off? He's going to be able to successfully do so without getting his head taken off. Nice play, Platts. Those Argus cameras just absolutely everywhere. There is nothing that Silence cannot see, it seems. And being able to also take down gadgets, that's also pretty ridiculous in the best way possible, don't get me wrong. Max Payne moving forward. He does spot one. He's going to get completely blasted. That isn't Rapid. That's Domo with the shotgun ready to work and takes care of that one. 4-on-4, lots of hurt health bars here, or 2 hurt health bars rather. As Platts took some damage from that battle repelling earlier, and Domo, although he was able to blast Max Payne away, did not go unscathed, down to a quarter of his HP, and in fact is going to end up going down. Shots through the wall. It's going to be Domo going down. Actually getting the elimination with the spike strip from Gridlock, so solid play there for the side of Universite de Montreal, as we now have in the smoke Smasho right there ready and putting the diffuser down. Miracle turns his back at the wrong time and is going to get blasted for it. Huge play for Bananas. It is now once again, how many times do I have to say it here this game? It's Big Papa versus the world. Not exactly a 1v5, but it's still extremely difficult. Does find one, but unfortunately he's kind of stuck in the position where he has to go out headhunting, and it's not always going to go in your favor that way. Silence going to do just that to some of the hopes for St. Clair taking that round. After spotting Big Papa poke out from the hole, lights him up, takes care of that one. This kind of feels like a Hail Mary to me here, going to this 2nd floor reading room here for St. Clair, and opting to just be as obnoxious as possible in regards to movement disruption and gadget disruption.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
It screams to me lack of confidence, but this very well could be specifically this site kind of thing. At this reading room, being dead center in the middle of the hallway lets you get attacks from pretty well. All angles, above, below, sideways, does not matter. You're going to be peppered on for one way or another. So we'll get to see if this pick for St. Clair is going to end up mustering any success, as we now have Big Papa off of the, I think he was on the Maluzi last time, going to be switching over to the Mozi.
5 seconds left. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb. The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Okay, attack underway. Let's see how Platts and the rest of this Universite de Montreal squad can pull off this attack. Silent's been pretty well unstoppable. Max Payne got picked out pretty early in the last round, but otherwise has been doing absolutely fantastic. Smajo, the carrier, and keeping the flankers away, doing a successful job with that as well.
Loading mag.
Papa and Miracle close, and Kira on the steps as well. The attackers continue to move forward here.
A bomb has been located.
A-site spotted, and Platts going to continue to make JMB's game this time. Just this one hurts so far here for JMB's. No assists, no elimination so far in this game. Speaking of slow starts, but let's hope he can turn this one around. A nice spot here for Platts. Another successful takedown. Might be able to find himself another right around the corner. I do believe that was Domo. I don't know what happened there for Universite de Montreal with all these number spams. Maybe they forgot to reprogram their bot or something. Oh, just JK. Obviously, there's nothing bot about this. These guys are just sick. Diffuser in the smoke, gonna make it work. Domo does manage to find down or take down Max Payne. But once again, another rough spot for St. Clair. Cleaned up. Platts gets himself a quadra this round. Nicely done. Just barely spot the kneecaps of the player in that situation. Lights him up, takes him down, and it's looking like deja vu. I know I mentioned it earlier, but now it's really feeling like it. As we St. Clair is now down 1-4 once again. Definitely an eye-opener here for this St. Clair squad. Cafe was one of their go-to maps in the last season. So to see them look kind of lost in this one is rather surprising, but it could be another situation where maybe their attack is just that much better, and then they'll make something happen at the halftime. But how much are they going to bleed before they get to that point? Of course, this being the halftime match right here, right now, going to be switching sides after this one. JMB's now on his tried and true, picking the Maestro up. Hopefully the switch to a comfort pick will jumpstart his game here today.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds left before insertion.
We are protected.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Let's ride along with Bananas here as we go towards the attack once again. All the way up on the 3rd floor, probably going to make our way to the rooftops to start off this attack.
I need to reload.
What is Silence doing over here? It did manage to find himself a cheeky little camera spot, and looked like possibly take some pot shots at the Banshee, but it doesn't look like it's going to go down, so interesting little angle there. But as I was admiring angles, I should have been admiring yet another elimination here from Platts from the rooftops, taking Big Papa out.
Track sting is activated. Activating Selma sequence.
Rooftops down, looking to get their move on. Still have plenty of time to make this work as well. 2 minutes, shots fired from the windowsill. Platts looking to find one of the players of St. Clair. Not going to make contact with anybody, however. Going to retreat back to the rooftops and look for another entry. Silence in the building. Banana's not too far behind as well. Spots the Maestro camera, but of course he can't just punch it away. Silence, going to get jumped on there. Solid shot from Domo. Does have the smoke grenades available. Going to block off the doorway so they don't chase him down. But he did not take any damage in this situation, so it's not the end of the world here for Domo. The 4v5 onslaught continues here against St. Clair. Platts does go down. Miracle makes the play from behind the counter here at the B site. Does take him down. Looking for maybe another one. Makes his position known, but is not going to find anybody in this scenario. Kira peeks for just a second. Doesn't see anybody, but he got spotted, losing over half of his HP in that process. Miracle peppered still under this countertops. He feels pinned down in this situation. Needs some covering fire, and that's exactly where Domo comes in as well. Tries to take some of the heat off of his teammates. Miracle still looking for somebody.
Reloading, cover me.
Nobody found. Jambeast has his angle covered. Nobody's been attacking that area just yet, but you never know. And try and make something work on the cameras. Miracle still stuck, continuing to get peppered by Universite de Montreal in this situation.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
That being said, St. Clair aren't the ones who have to move in this situation. We're down to the last 15 seconds. Miracle finding one, but can he find another? He got completely saved by Jambeast, and Miracle secures the last elimination. And St. Clair are going to stop the bleeding right when they needed to, right at halftime. It may have felt like I was giving Jambeast a hard time from that angle, but sometimes you just gotta hold it, because eventually it'll happen, and it came in absolute clutch. The crossfire there from Jambeast, able to stop the player who was making the move onto Miracle, and allowed Miracle to clean up with, I think that was a triple total in that round. Nicely done. We'll now get to see the difference of styles between these attacks and defenses on the side of St. Clair. I was kind of hoping to see the Ying come out here, but it's not going to be the case. Kira going to opt for the Zofia instead.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And now for the defensive side of things, Silence. Of course, you can't play zero on defense, so gonna have to pick up the Echo in this case. Gonna be the camera, drone, and disruption or diffuser disruption master in this situation. Platt's going to be picking up the Maluzia in this situation. Bananas on Jaeger duty. Max Payne on the Wamai. And Smasho back on the Legion. Meanwhile, for St. Clair, we don't get to quite see them just yet in this situation. However, Big Papa is going to be on the sledge. Domo Cookie Bear picking up the Nomad. Going to be filling the similar role that Smasho's Gridlock was doing. But instead of having the spike strips, you will have air jabs. Of course, like I was saying in previous casts, but with those air jabs, you walk in front of it, if an enemy walks in front of it, you could get blasted with air, get knocked right on your rear, wide open for an attack, and making a massive noise. Really making it obvious that you're there. Miracle going to be on the Ash, and now you can see 1 or 2 rounds is all it takes. Now he's back in there, 4 eliminations and an assist here in this game. Kira on the Zofia, leading the team with 5, and then Jambeast making the support play work on the Maverick this time for a little additional hard breach. May have only the 1 elimination, but arguably that 1 elimination was way more clutch than a numerical value can add. Going to be taking his time here, slowly breaching through this wall with his flamethrower, but he's going to need cover. And I think he does have some cover in Kira from the windowsill. Well, I think Big Papa is nearby as well. Domo still up in the rooftops. JMB, and okay, yeah, Miracle is right there alongside him. But eventually use the breaching round. They are going to slowly but surely be able to move forward in this site. They're going to get caught up by the Banshees, so going to give their position away. Miracle going to try and find himself a different angle of attack. Getting a little feisty at this 1-minute 20-second mark. Big Papa getting lit up just ever so slightly from the doorway. Going to try and put some covering fire on. Is going to get out just in time. Miracle now alongside Big Papa and JMB still going to try and move forward once again. Breaching round in hand. Big Papa gets lit up. That's going to be the Maluzi. It's going to be Platts making it work. Then Max Payne takes down Kira. JMB gets lit. There goes Miracle as well. And Domo versus the world from the rooftops. Gonna drop in, get lit, taken down. Universite de Montreal on a roll once again. Excuse me. All right. After a successful defense for their first round, it's going to be all the way down to the first floor once again. Platts, Max Payne leading the charge here for the side of Universite de Montreal once again. 9 limbs and 8 limbs respectively, but the rest of the team have been absolutely where they needed to be. But of course, eliminations are not everything. Information cannot be judged by a scoreboard.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds to go.
Claw is active.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Okay, round number 8, and right now Universite de Montreal in fantastic position, of course, sitting there with a 5-2 lead in this game. And of course, they won the last game as well, so not only match point, but or not only game point, but match point right around the corner for them if they could secure themselves 2 more victories in this series. Of course, Saints want to shut that down nice and quick. I know some of these players have been rather excited for this winter season, and it's hard to go up against a team like Universite de Montreal first round, where it's an absolute secret powerhouse. It looks like. Like we were rated 2nd in the group. Montreal was rated 3rd, but that being said, looking at the way they're playing, they are definitely slept on in the slightest. And oh, sneaky play there from Silence. Oh, you want to put a blowtorch there. Oh, you made a hole for me? Thank you. Nitro Cell takes him down. Was a diffuser carrier as well. Domo going to pick it up in the meantime, but JMB has just not had any luck. It seems like Montreal has had his number from the get-go. And St. Clair kind of scattered here. Bit odd to see, but I'm sure I'll close it up nice and quick. Big Papa inside. Everybody's pretty much inside as of this moment. Miracle moving forward. Domo going to be looking from the outside here, trying to give his team some covering fire. He is kind of pinning down some members, and Miracle going to find the first elimination. Takes down Platts, shutting down his hot streak. Currently sitting there, of course, with 9 eliminations, was on an absolute tear. But a huge boost of motivation here from Miracle if he can keep pushing and keep making the plays, but I think there's actually somebody behind them that you may not realize. Domo gets taken down rather, as Silence finds him here. That Banshee going to make things difficult for the moment, but going to get rid of it. 3 on 4 with 30 seconds left. Still got a little bit of time to work with. Kira going to be the one picking up the diffuser in this situation. Miracle going to try and make the play from above. He's going to spot a couple. Can he get some shots? He lights it up, but he's not going to be able to make contact until the very end. He does take down Max Payne and does not take any fire in return. So it's going to allow Kira to jump on in, but he's not going to win that fight. The K is going to be Smasho right there, going burr all over Kira in this case. And 7 seconds to go, and it's all up to Big Papa versus 3. Finds one, but he's not going to find another. Bananas takes him down. Match point. Universite de Montreal. Can St. Clair break this reading room? Try to move forward here in this series. The last time they were in a really rough spot, I think it was about 5-1. I think it was 5-1, and they were able to bring it back to a 6-5 until they eventually lost in 7-5 fashion. But I tell you what, this Universite de Montreal team looks fantastic on attack, fantastic on defense here on Cafe. You can tell it's something they've constantly been playing on, been practicing on. And it's really going to tell right here, right now, where, like I was saying before, this second floor reading room is a rather uncomfortable site to try and hold compared to the other two. So if they can win this one and make it look easy, it's just going to be essentially the tail of the tape with how this match has been.
Placing proximity alarm.
Reloading!
10 seconds. 5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Loading new magazine!
Possibly one more time here for St. Clair to shape up versus Universite de Montreal, as they are on match point. They've left themselves no more wiggle room. It has to be essentially perfection moving forward here. Okay, so Miracle and Domo going to be the first ones into the building itself, slowly moving forward, of course. So now with this reading room hold, they could try to make something happen from above, and it looks like they're going to try and do that here with Miracle on this A site, with a little bit of additional support from Kira and Domo. Domo has a little bit of additional soft breach as well, if necessary. That being said, between this Banshee going off and there being a player from St. Clair right around the corner. That wasn't a Banshee, that was just a sensor. My bad, that's not a Banshee. But able to give their position away nonetheless, giving all sorts of intel over to the side of Montreal. Could be scary. We think that was an air jab going off. No, that was a... I'm going to assume that was a yokai drone shot coming out here from Max Payne. And as you can tell, like with everything, like your peripheral vision just getting absolutely messed up. Basically a similar effect to that we see from an alum mine. And another shot coming out as well, really making Kira's life absolutely miserable. Looks to try and maybe take a fight as well, but it's not exactly the position you really want to try and make it happen in. Yeah, Kira in an extremely uncomfortable position. Is going to take out the mute jammer, but still in such a weird spot. Big Papa is actually getting flanked upon, but the free frag is going to happen right away. Kira eventually does find Platts, however. The Jaeger off the board. 4 on 3. Another jammer down, looking to try and make something happen. Where is JM Beast in all of this? Actually, shots fired here by Kira once again. You see a player right down on the second floor. Miracle getting shot down. Kira and JM Beast trying to find him. He does find Bananas. Gonna give JM Beast the opportunity to try and speed through, but right as he does it once again, this Maverick, they'd have an answer for it every single time. It's going to be Kira versus 2. This is much more doable. 1v1 with St. Clair's
15 seconds to go. Attackers have
game
recovered
life here on the line. 10 seconds to plant this thing or somehow hunt the player down.
5 seconds to go.
Trying to peek as many corners as possible by shooting. He gives his position away, and he's actually not even going to plant the diffuser. Assumes that his life was gone. So Universite de Montreal going to take this in 2-0 fashion in a much more convincing game number 2 here on Cafe. Fantastically done. GG's. But a solid match nonetheless. That first game there from these two teams was an absolute turned into a back and forth after what looked like it was going to be dominant. But then game number 2, unfortunately for our St. Clair squad, was just not going to happen here today. You can tell that they were a little bit shaken up by the end of that one, and I do not blame them. Universite de Montreal being the better team here in this game, starting off the series with an on-paper upset over us, considering we are a seed 2 and they were a seed 3, so a solid job there nonetheless. Looking at what we would assume the results would then be from Akron and Virginia Tech, that's happening at the same time. I would assume that Akron takes that one. Those players are also extremely phenomenal, so I would assume they would take that over Virginia Tech being seen as the last seed in our group. We'll have to see. I'm personally going to be following Universite de Montreal a little bit more as well as this group goes on as well, because they may have been the 3rd seed, but they looked quite well today, and I want to see if they can keep it up. With that being said, of course, still good games all around. St. Clair still have plenty of time to bring this back. This is a shorter season. I believe it is 3 or 4 weeks of competition before playoffs, but still have a little bit of wiggle room. Hop into the lobby, and I'm sure they'll be able to pull this one around. But that's a good squad we have there still, and I'm still completely faithful that they'll be able to make something happen moving forward in this season. But speaking about later on in the season, do want to go over our schedule for the rest of this week and going into next week as well, of course, as we have TESPA Cold War, Call of Duty, of course, happening on tomorrow at 7 p.m. as well as Sunday at 7 p.m. And then we're going to be in for a lot of Call of Duty, as we're actually going to hop on to Modern Warfare one more time, as the last semester season got a little bit messed up after a team got called out for an improper roster. So we're going to have another matchup. Team that ended up taking us out was that team that was booted out or disqualified. So we get to play and see if we happen to land ourselves into the top 4, moving up from the top 8. So that'll be a sick one to see, 8 o'clock. Looking forward to messing with the Codcaster on that one. Oh dear. But anyway, if you're here for Rainbow Six Siege, of course, this CR6 or the CollegiateR6 winter season continues December 11th, Friday at 8 p.m. Not sure which team we play yet. It's either going to be Akron, which of course, Akron is a fantastic squad. I look forward to seeing how our Saints can hold up against them. And then Virginia Tech, who I personally have not gotten the opportunity to see just yet, but looking forward to seeing nonetheless. Like I said before, I'm always down to be wrong. So even though this team is the 4th seed, if they give our Saints a run for their money, I'm definitely down to see that. At the end of the day, I just want to see a good match here. Then on Saturday, we have more Call of Duty TESPA action. Should be the second or the final week once we reach, not tomorrow, but next Saturday. So be sure to follow us here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Make sure you don't miss a beat. Well, with that, that'll close out our coverage here tonight for the season opener for the Collegiate R6 winter season. Universite de Montreal taking us in 2-0 fashion, 7-5 in Game 1 and 7-2 Game 2. GG's all around. I look forward to seeing everybody next time. And before we do close out, of course, we want to thank sponsors that do make the St. Clair Saints happen. Of course, that being St. Clair College, the St. Clair College Alumni Association, and CollegiateR6, the Seckelman School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, and Tim Hortons. Would not be able to do it without all of you. And also a big thank you to everybody tuning in, supporting your friends, your family, your classmates, or even just your esports program in general. I know when I was looking at the chat a little bit earlier, I saw members from both sides, and that's what I absolutely love to see. I mean, I love talking to the St. Clair Saints community constantly, don't get me wrong, but it's also quite heartwarming to see teams from other, or people from other teams come to support the stream and support their teams as well. Absolute pleasure bringing the broadcast to you as often as we do. But with that, we'll close out for tonight. Big thank you again for everyone tuning in, and I will end up seeing you tomorrow for some Collegiate Cold War TESPA Call of Duty.